Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2017 action-adventure thriller, very tragic film, Logan. This is co-written and directed by James Mangold. He wrote slash directed the 2013's The Wolverine. So, we talked about how awesome that movie was, and we knew that Logan was a very important film as well. Technically, it's the last film in the Fox X-Men film saga. New Mutants, which came out in 2020, we don't speak of such things, but that was well before this film, timeline-wise, and yes, the timeline changed when Deadpool got a hang of that device and he, took out himself as Wade in X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's why the end of that movie doesn't really count, but the beginning of that movie counts, like how Wolverine became Wolverine, especially with adamantium being fused to his bones. But then Days of Future Past, which we technically didn't talk about yet, but I do remember, it ends in 2024. This film takes place in 2029. So Logan takes place 2029. And it's referenced that it's Charles and Logan. Those are the only two remaining X-Men that we have left. There was an incident in Westchester a few years back from 2029. And we know that Days of Future Past ends in 2024. There's a bunch of, mutants at Xavier High, if you will. Mutant High, as Bobby so eloquently put it once. And we know that in Charles's aging years, he's starting to develop ALS or, some type of degenerative brain problem. So a disease on the strongest brain in the entire world, it's a problem. So anytime Charles has a seizure in 2029, he goes into this episode, but then he affects everyone in the surrounding area of paralysis and just pain. So Logan is his caretaker essentially, and he has to sedate him, and it's just hard to watch an old and frail dying Logan trying to sedate Charles Xavier. They have Caliban, who's a tracker mutant basically, who's helping kind of keep Charles at bay, but in the process there's this company that has made new mutants, basically, new weapon mutants, that there hasn't been a new mutant born in quite some time, that they started to make their own mutants. And X-23, Laura, has the genes of Logan in the claw sense, in the regenerative cell sense, of the healing sense. So, she's technically his daughter, biologically, even though she's born in a lab, but still technically she is his daughter. So it's now a mission of the fourth wall's been broken. We know that the X-Men have comics, and Logan references the people that make the comics, just filled with lies, that they take one incident, blow it up into proportion, filled with lies, and Laura's trying to get to Eden, which is in North Dakota, to meet up with her fellow brother and sister lab rat mutants who escaped, the facility that they were in. So then eventually they get to Eden, but there's, chaos along the way. Charles winds up getting killed. Mutant X-24 is a clone of Logan, so he's now thrown into the mix. But Logan himself is dying because the adamantium that was put in him way back in the day is starting to poison his body, and he's starting to not be able to regenerate as he once was. So clone Logan, X-24, winds up killing our dear Logan, who was born in 1885, so to 2029, that's just shy of 150, so 144. That's a long time. He's hit that vampire stage of immortality, but he knows it's his time. So Laura has an adamantium bullet that Logan was saving to kill himself, because he knew he was eventually going to die after Charles was killed by this clone Logan. At a farmhouse scene, it was very hard to watch that. And then Laura winds up shooting clone Logan in the head, blows his head off with the adamantium bullet. So adamantium on adamantium, kaplow, gone. But it was hard watching, Laura burying her father, taking a cross made of sticks and turning it so that it's the X symbol, and then that's it. That's the end of the X-Men films. Obviously, now that we know that Evan Peters' Peter character, right, of Quicksilver, is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe thanks to Wanda. We still need to figure out how, so hopefully in the final 2 episodes of WandaVision we'll get that answer. But we know that the multiverse is opened, the timelines are now mixed. So, is this film, Logan, still within the Fox branch of timeline? Is it merging now out within the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline? I'm just gonna assume it's staying within the Fox timeline, and then we'll eventually get a new version of Logan, like Marvel Cinematic Universe's version of Logan, because we've had Fox's version of Logan as Hugh Jackman for all these years. He's just done a fantastic job, but it was a very poetic, and this was the highest rated film. It was like a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes of any X-Men film, the highest rated film. So it was very poignant to grow with this character for so long. You know, we had Logan for 17 years. 2000 was the first time we saw him in X-Men, and then 2017 is the last time we see him, you know, within Logan. So, you know, I was 10 years old the first time I saw Logan. I grew up with that character. You know, I was him for Halloween a couple times. Like, it's bittersweet, but like, the best part of the end is the beginning, or something like that. What does Iron Man say? I can't even remember. I'm trying to quote. It's not working, but this was a great movie. It was a very heartfelt movie, but it was very gory too, because of how successful Deadpool was, rated R with the gore. It was nice to see Wolverine finally be able to, you know, kill people and decapitate people and, you know, use his claws to the maximum. No more PG-13 violence, hard R gore violence. It was very poetic justice in the final film. I give it that. So, let's see what happens moving forward with the X-Men. Let's see who our new Wolverine may be. I'm hoping a smaller actor, just because Wolverine in the comics is like 5'5", so like, and Hugh Jackman did a great job. I absolutely loved him. I grew up with him, but I want to see a short guy play Wolverine, just to like give it more of that like comic fanfare. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, break out your claws. I don't have any near me. And if ever you get adamantium in your body, you will die from poisoning. It's a known fact. Do not fuse your bones with adamantium. That's it. That's all I got. Mahalo.